Are you considering relocating with your family? Tell you this, it can be a very exciting opportunity for all. But there's some things that you really need to consider. And so in this video, we're going to talk about some tips and some strategies and some things you really should know before you make this journey, or even if you're on this journey, some things that can help you course correct. So let's get into it. Hi, my name is Keanon Slade, and I'm a person who is able to fire. That means I have achieved financial independence and retired early, and I'm living here in Costa Rica. And so if you feel like it's that time of your life where you're actually ready to leave the US, no matter if it's Costa Rica or a different place, there's many different options. The principle still is the same. There's some things that you should know, and there's some things that you should do, and there's things you shouldn't do. And so good news is that I'm a life coach that helps good guys find a great life outside the US. And so here today, we're going to be jumping in something that, involves not just you, but your family. So the first thing that you should know is moving to a different country does not fix marriages. And I say that first because you're going to take your whole family unit, and it's going to be you and your spouse and the kids, and you're thinking about all the plans and the schools, and you're like, this will alleviate some of the stress if we go to someplace nice. You're thinking in vacation mindset. Let's pack the bags and everything's going to be great because we're not going to be worried about the stuff that we worry about here, and the marriage stuff will work itself out. Moving and is a lot different from having a vacation. When you're relocating to a place, yeah, it might be distracting as you're getting organized and you're getting settled, and things might be a little bit calmer because you're not worrying about the same things. But all in all, the place itself doesn't fix your marriage. It's something that you have to, and your spouse have to, actually decide to work on. Find the root cause, get counseling and therapy. Yes, you could do that remotely. You can do all of this together, but the underlying thing, what I'm trying to say is moving the country itself doesn't just fix and bring answers. You guys are going to have to work on it. And so that includes all of you guys. So if there's some things that, you and your wife have to work on, or if there's some relationships with your kids that is affecting your marriage, those things also will have to be addressed. If you're resonating with what I talked about so far, I want you guys to watch the whole entire video because there's some tidbits that actually go together. I don't want you to miss a thing, so watch to the very end. So this point is crucial. When you are trying to decide, are you going to move, which country, and all that stuff, you definitely want to get your family's opinion. Now, yes, of course, that includes your spouse, but if your kids are of a certain age, then you want to be able to have good conversations with them to say, hey, we're planning on moving and this is what it's going to look like. And you're going to give it your best shot. I know life throws curveballs and stuff like that. There's only so much you can do with any decision that you make. And so you want to have a conversation with them and then alleviate certain pains, if possible. If there's certain things like we're going to miss friends and families, okay, could we do something inside of the plan that allows us to actually visit or have them come here? Would that be good enough? You'll have to be able to make adjustments because honestly, culture shock is real for everybody, and everybody is going to experience that move differently. Now, I'm not saying don't do it by any means. I'm saying plan and organize, even maybe get a coaching or help to actually be able to talk through some of the things that, are their concerns, and try to get past them and still be able to get to where you want to go. I want you guys to click the link below because I provide freebie that'll help you to put some tools underneath your belt so that you can start this next phase of your life with your family. The next point is you're going to want to do your research. I know I talk a lot about fire and being wise about where you're going. And if you haven't fired yet, going to some place with a lower cost of living. Yes, the actual cost of living can be cheaper, but there's benefits like if you always want to be in warm weather. I wanted to get away from it all. I always went to a place with warm weather because I was having to make trips. It actually was a part of my cost of living because you want to be able to do your research to figure out, does this make sense financially? Yeah, this is higher, but this is lower. I can get in better health because I'm outside 12 months a year. You're balancing that out. Not only are you doing the research, what type of place you should live in, you're going to do the research on, especially since we're talking about family, the schools. Is there a good school solution? Is there sports that you want your kids to participate in? If they don't have football, I won't say football americano, but if they don't have the football that we think in the United States and they have the football that the rest of the world calls, which is soccer, if they don't have that, will your kid be able to switch over from one sport to the other as long as there's camaraderie and team and honestly a great place to be able to pick up the language and finding new friends? Is that good enough? Hopefully the answer is yes, because that is actually a great growth opportunity, not just for you, because you'll be there as a parent, like, yay, and you can talk to the other parents, like, yay, rah, rah. But your son, your daughter, who's on that team, you can benefit with same growth as well. And so that begins to make the growth and the trip better. The one thing that really helps, and this is a bonus, just came to my head, there's two things that really help your relocation or change or things like that. One is having a purpose, and I talk about that a lot. Don't just fire to fire, don't just relocate to relocate. Have a purpose where you're gonna go, and that's crucial. If you have a purpose, then when things go bad, when your daughter, your son's on a losing team, if their purpose is greater than just the win, and it's the communication and it's the friendship and it's the growth, then they're gonna be okay. But without purpose, all of this is like a vacation, and you eventually, especially if you're a person of purpose, you're gonna feel like this isn't it. But if you have the purpose, it'll help you get through the tough times. And then the other part of it is connections. When you're in a foreign place or in any place, really, sometimes you can be in a dump relatively, but the relationships are so good. I don't want to leave, because relationships and connections are so vital. Finding connections with others is actually something that will make you stay in a place. And honestly, it's the thing that sometimes makes it harder to move to a different place. You're like, I hate the weather here, but my family, my friends are here. It's the bond that you have. And now it's like, oh, you need the bonds where you're going to go. It will be beneficial, not just for you, but for your family, especially for your family. It does make the transition a lot better when people are feeling like they're wanted, they're needed, and they're loved. You're going to be able to help with a lot of the love and stuff like that, but you want them, once they leave the doors of the house, is like to be able to realize, oh, I'm needed in this community environment. I'm wanted. And so those are things that are really helpful to be able to transition. Okay, so like I said, that was a bonus. I hope you take that in, because freedom is not freedom if there's not all those things included. If you're considering to relocate your family, what are some of the potential changes you foresee, and how do you plan to address them? I want you guys to put in the comment below of what things do you see are going to be challenges or changes that you have to adjust to. The next point is communicate openly and honestly. It's great to be like, hey, we're gonna move to this place and we're gonna be at the beach and all this stuff, but that's only one side, because the other side is you might have to learn a new language. Oh, language? You're gonna meet new friends. What about my old friend? You're going to have to be able to address those challenges. Don't let them get sideswiped by that. It's like, oh, we didn't see that coming. We just thought it was gonna be sunshine and rainbows in this. Oh, there's a culture shock, there's a change, there's a language barrier. I don't know how to do this. There's the thing that you want to be honest about. And be honest with yourself. It does take time to get adapted to a different culture, and depending how you are, whether I talk about this a lot, whether you're fixed mindset, where it's, oh, I'm jumping in, it's perfect. Wait, it's not perfect. Oh, I suck. That's fixed mindset versus, oh, I jumped in, it's not perfect. I'm going to figure out how to make it better. That's growth mindset. So whichever the two mindsets you're jumping into the situation is, and everyone in the family that is jumping into it are going to have to be able to address how to make the shift to grow. There's going to be some problems, but how are you proceeding? What is your perspective on it? How are you going to win in that challenge, or be able to take the opportunity to grow from that? And that should be the conversation of your dinner tables. What things did you learn today? There was a book, I can't remember which one the book now was, but it was like, what did you fail at today? And the conversation was to like, oh, I failed at this. And what are you gonna do to get better at it? And the conversation was a family conversation, and it was teaching the kids that if you're not really failing or have challenges, then maybe you're trying to take life too easy. Don't do that. You want to be able to prepare yourself, run towards challenges, and take on new opportunities. And especially if you're talking about relocating, it is very exciting. But the wrong mindset can be really hard. And then the other person with a nice mindset won't even like flinch. They're like, oh, whatever. Okay, and then lastly, this is important to take care of yourself. And what I mean that is, if you and your spouse, so the message is for both of you guys, you're planning the trip, you're running, you're trying to say goodbyes, you're trying to make sure the kids say goodbye to all their friends, you're doing special trips, you're having special dinners, and you're running around, you're busy, you're closing out stuff with your job, or you're transitioning to jobs, and you're trying to sell the house, it can get stressful. And you need to do this in a way that you can actually be able to take care of yourself, that you're able to breathe. You want to create a plan, a vision with dates and things like that, so that you're not like stay in the middle of the night, I forget anything, I forget. No, you want to write it down, and you want to space it in such a way that you're not driving yourself crazy. You want to make sure you're eating, getting enough sleep, and you don't want to have nightmares because you're trying to look out for everybody else's benefit and make sure that they land okay, and you're not doing the same for yourself. So you want to be able to take care of yourself as you're planning and getting to the country of your destination, and honestly, once you actually touch ground, because there's adjustments there. You take turns with your spouse, do whatever it is that you have to do so that you're having a chance to take care of yourself as well as your family. You know how they say, put your oxygen mask on first? Yeah, make sure your oxygen mask is on first. So with that, I want you guys to click on the link below and sign up for the tools that I'll be providing. That is a freebie, and it's actually something that you really should be able to consider when moving abroad, and just the adjustments you're gonna make. It's still an exciting trip, but there's some gotchas to every move. Right? You could be moving to your next state next over, but you want to be like, oh, hey, how can I be wise about it? I've never left my city. Yeah, same thing applies when you move to a different country, especially applies when you move to a different country. With that, I will see you on the other side.